communication, that's an issue, but I'm okay. Hey, you tell your friends it was nice to meet them, but I hope I never see them again. I know it breaks your heart. Moved to the city and I broke down crying. 4 years, no calls. Now you're looking pretty in a hotel bar, and I can't stop. No, I can't stop.
he can stream over Discord and observe the game. So he has to have a desktop to do that, though.
Let's just join the game.
Okay. 1 second, I'm gonna make the post. Do we have the stream on starting soon?
I think he's not using that overlay. Actually, do you want to? Do you have that overlay ready? I feel like you do. I feel like I've seen you use it before. Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, dude, your mic sounds fine.
Do you have your stream on waiting to start or starting soon?
Yeah, yes.
What? He does?
He does. He does.
Okay. Yeah, I got it. I think I'll have to open your keep track of the chat. I can start and do.
You cut out there. If you're talking, you're cutting out. I can't hear you at all. Yeah.
Hello?
Hello? Give it just a few more minutes. Damn, 20 viewers. Yeah, we're just waiting on them. Hello?
I'm not sure that my computer is going to run a Discord call and Brood War.
Okay.
So I might have to cast with the bad.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine with me.
Basically, we have two options. Keen, can you screen share?
Yeah, sure.
Hello?
Hello?
Okay, so you can screen share?
Yeah, do you see it?
Yeah, this is good. Sorry, I thought that it wouldn't, but no. If you're on a Discord call and you open Blizzard, it goes to 100% CPU. This is why I can't stream.
I see.
For being on a Discord call and also having StarCraft open. It's an old laptop. Okay, so do you want me to do... We should do quick announcements when we start. I can do that.
Yeah, if you feel comfortable doing that.
Okay, and then after I finish doing announcements, you can go ahead and announce the event. How's that?
Sure.
Okay. Sounds good. You can start whenever you're ready. Just give us a 3, 2, 1. Hello?
Tempest, that's you.
Whenever you're going to start your stream, just give us a 3, 2, 1 and we're ready to go. What?
Okay. He started the starting soon screen is off, so if you want to go for it.
So chat can hear us now?
His stream has been on. His stream has been on, I guess.
Oh, so they've just been able to hear us talk?
Yeah.
What do you mean you're not the host? I'm not talking about the game. I was talking about the stream. So the stream's just on? No, Keen's the host of the game, I think.
I'm the host of the game.
Okay.
Just calm down, Tempest.
Okay, so I guess... All right, so I guess chat can hear us. I thought that the starting soon screen had us muted. So hey guys, welcome to this CPL event. Just before we get started, I will do a couple of quick announcements. Just kind of like what's coming up. So we do have another Apocalypse show match coming up on Monday. That's the 4th of May. And that we have Shroom up against Silver. So be sure to tune in for that. I think it's going to be at 2 p.m. EDT. So that'll be on Least Twitch again. So that'll be the whole Apocalypse rundown. We also have a masterclass coming up with Cryok. It might not be on the Wednesday, but it will be soon. So there's a Terran masterclass coming up, so stay tuned for that. remember that match of the week is on Thursdays at 6 p.m. EDT. That's some highlighted CPL casts from our casting coordinator Sad Zero and co-caster. So that's our like weekly scheduled CPL cast. And then we also have another Apocalypse match coming up on Thursday, the 7th of May, which will be Mars from Sam Yankfire up against Sheep from Operation Indecision. So that's another ZBT for you guys, and that'll be again on Least Twitch. I hope you guys are enjoying CPL so far. If there is someone somehow in the chat that doesn't know what we're talking about, CPL is Coach Pupil League. So it's a league in the foreign scene where new players can get assigned to a team to meet other community members and coaches and have fun playing this game. So if you don't know what this is, definitely get on our CPL Discord so you can keep updated with what's going on. And there is a Looking for Games channel in the Discord if you're looking for practice partners. And today we actually have a special edition supplementary event to CPL that's hosted by Keen. And I'll let him take over and explain what we're doing today.
Yeah, so I'm happy to run the first CPL Eradication Games event, which is modeled after a Korean series that's near and dear to my heart, KCM Race Survival series, which consists of teams of 3 semi-pro or pro gamers of each race battling it out in an all-kill format. And then the last race standing wins. It's created some really, really hype matches where people go on all-kill streaks, and it's just a lot of fun. So today, our format will consist of teams of a tier 3, a tier 2, and a tier 1 player from each race. It was just on a volunteer basis. So the Protoss team will consist of Crane, Hella Bacon, and Durandal. The Zerg team will consist of Baker, June, and Durkovic. And the Terran team will consist of Royal Blue, Foxbat, and Borisu. And for our first game tonight, we have Borisu against Durkovic, the 2 tier 3 representatives for their respective races. And I think that's... Do you think that's a good enough?
Yeah,
I think that covers everything.
That about covers it. Yeah, I think we have a map order, so there's a possibility for 8 best of 1. So Keen has set the 8 CPL maps conveniently in an order, so we'll just be playing in the maps in that order. And I think we're starting with Terran versus Zerg.
Terran
the rule
versus
here
Zerg.
is that you have to field the tiers in kind of lowest first. So everyone fields their tier 2, tier 3 player first, then tier 2, then tier 1. So hopefully we'll get a lot of best of 1s here.
Indeed. Okay, so already, I'll just go.
All right, looks like our first map here is going to be Fighting Spirit.
Okay, so we have Durkovic as the orange Zerg in the top left, and just Borisu as the white Terran in the bottom left. Both of these players are tier 3s on Samyang, which is my team, but I don't think I've actually ever seen them play each other, so this should be an interesting match. They're both pretty quirky, funny personalities.
Yeah, for sure. I haven't actually seen games from either of these players, but definitely enthusiastic about ZBT. So glad to see some more of that. Have you seen them play play this matchup, even if you haven't seen them play each other?
Actually, I've only seen Borisu play TVP. I think that has ended up being the matchup that he's gotten most weeks in CPL so far. But he is on a pretty good streak in CPL, even though he's technically at the bottom MMR of tier 3. So hopefully he'll show us some entertaining matches with his TVZ.
Right, and we all know that Terran has the best win rate in CPL, so he should be doing just fine.
Yeah, Zerg unfortunately has the worst win rate in CPL.
Yeah, good times. And then we picked the maps that are like definitely not Zerg favorites. So I know you had lots to say about that when it came out the other night.
Yeah, not a fan of a lot of the two-player maps for sure. But it could definitely be a worse map. Though I can't complain too much. So we see Barisu going out on the map with this SUV here. Oh, never mind. Okay, he's just making his barracks the base. I was thinking, yeah.
Oh, you're thinking for Rex. It's past that point.
Yeah, past that point. I'm just zoning out. My bad.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited for this event overall. I've been talking about implementing like some kind of race wars tournament for like probably about 3 weeks now. I've like mentioned it a couple times. I felt like ever since we did that like tiers tournament, I felt that like race wars would be a really fun kind of additional format because it's not something that we see at all in the foreign scene. So I'm kind of excited to see how the players feel about playing in it and like what our overall result is here today.
Yeah, for sure. I think just the all-kill format, it could lead to such hype games. I mean, if we can see a tier 3 or a tier 2 player punching up and taking out a higher tier, that would be really fun to watch.
Oh yeah, for sure. I actually feel like it's probably not going to happen for my tier 3 players because I feel like none of them are like particularly on the kind of like borderline tier 2 level as far as I know. But I guess we'll see. I think definitely the tier 2, like who's our tier 2 Terran player? It's Foxbat, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like if we have some kind of situation where we have like Foxbat against Baker or something where it's like a favored matchup for the tier 2 player, I feel like maybe we could see an upset there.
Yeah, for sure. And for what it's worth, Hella Bacon, the tier 2 representative for Protoss, is actually technically still tier 3 right now, but he told me he was getting promoted. So
yeah, he's going up to tier 2 this week so he'll be on a tier 2 lineup for next week, I believe is how that works. We are updating them today. Basically, we've talked to a bunch of coaches and we're doing some tier promotions, and then I believe we're going to do one more tier promotion day before playoffs, and then after that it'll just be frozen.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Waitlist, by the way, is frozen after today. So if you guys want to play and you're not on the waitlist yet, definitely do that, because after today we're only adding people if the team requests it. Nice and city there by Barisu. He is not dying to Lings.
No, definitely not. Definitely not for speedless Lings.
But even like we see, he doesn't have an SCV on the map anymore. So he can like at least be sure with that wall that he's not in danger of some weird like lair cancellation and speedling all in.
Right, and I'm sure that's something that he's experienced a lot on ladder. I know lower level Terrans kind of struggle with that a lot.
Yeah, I love the decision to just make a bunker. Like you just might as well make a bunker, make a wall.
Yeah. If you're skilled enough as Terran, you can play a little greedier if you're going for like a 2x Academy build after your fast expand. But you still have to have that active scouting. And if you're a lower level player that struggles with the multitask, it's definitely worth it to just plop down the bunker no matter what.
Right.
So we see a relatively standard looking game plan from Durkovic coming here, just a 3-hatch muta play.
Yeah, and we see, I think Barisu went 2x Academy behind that. But now he's adding it to the barracks, yeah. So I guess 2x Academy into 4x tech is probably what he'll do.
Yeah, so relatively standard from both of our players here. I think Barisu's build is actually better than I expected.
Well, he will have a push out timing kind of before the mutas come, and Zerg will have to sunk against that as long as he hits his timing tight. So We're maybe a little bit past that point now, but I'm not sure how tight the build is on the end of Zerg. So the Spire's not done yet.
Yeah, and we see Dirkovich just making that overlord, like Tempest said, and working towards those 9 mutas.
Alright, we see Darkfish goes ahead and puts down 1 creep colony. I really like that play in close positions because if you only see Terran move out when they're moving out, you don't always have time to get all your sunks down. And there is that kind of like weird depot wall in the natural, so we can't exactly run a Ling in to check whether or not there's medics.
Mm-hmm. And I actually like just the 1-2 because
Yeah.
because of the depot wall, like you can kind of guess that the Terran is going to be going a little more conservative, so they're just taking extra precautions. So you can, it gives you a bit of an insight into their attitude. So you don't want to like overinvest,
Right.
and because they spent that money on that SimCity and the bunker, they're not going to have as many Marines as they could have if they were being a little greedier.
Right, and I actually don't see any medics from.
Oh, he has them. They're just not rallied. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. The mutas pop out. They're actually not a terrible timing from Dirkovich. I mean, it's nice that they get the base around 7 minutes, but I say for a tier 3 game, this is actually pretty good timing for mutas.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and we're going to go ahead and take advantage of the fact that there's no Marines beside the turrets. Go ahead and counter in the main and bring the Marines back.
But losing almost all of the mutas there, though, staying way too long, not really microing at all against the Marine medic force. So that was really, it was well played by Barisu. Quick
Definitely
reaction.
a missed throw from Dirkovich. If he had just like gone in and killed the turret and then left as soon as the bio came back to the main, I feel like that's a good play because you're just making Terran stay at home. Like he could have even waited for him to try and move out though, and then you can just like go ahead and dive on the main, and then Terran has to come back to stop you because turrets aren't enough to stop 11 Mutalisks if you only have a couple.
Yeah, I totally expected him to just run away when the Marine medic force came, but instead I guess he maybe thought he could fight them because they were pretty scattered and pretty small in numbers, but unfortunately it didn't work out for him.
All right, we do see that Barisa is going to go ahead and throw up a starport, so we are probably going to see him tech into science vessels, and he's gone up to 5 racks, so he'll have good SK production. He's actually, I feel like he might be a little bit low on SCVs, but he's keeping his money pretty low. Like I feel like for SK Terran at tier 3, this is pretty good.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, he only has about 11 SCVs at his natural and no gas at his natural, so he could for sure use better SCV saturation. But yeah, all things considered, his natural. Yeah, on the minimap it almost looks like he has it because there's the Marine standing next to it.
Right, yeah.
And then we also see Barisu taking a sneaky little hidden expansion here.
How do you feel about that? I feel like the 3rd base, I feel like Terran can power so hard on 2 bases that like I don't really see the point of taking a hit to 3rd this early.
Yeah, actually I think you're right about the 2 bases. Like especially at lower levels, Terran can make so much off of 2 bases, and it's really hard for the Zerg to deal with. So, yeah, like
I feel
they
like
don't
you're
even
kind of
need
just making it harder for yourself. I don't know.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, if you can just take a 3rd base for free like that, why not?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, we did see him hang back for a long time in his base, though. Like, I think he did have an opportunity after killing all the mutas where he could have gotten out on the map and taken map control. Because he definitely has the units to do so, from Terran's perspective.
Yeah, for sure. But he does also only have 90 APM, so it's working with what he's got.
All right, we do see some, Lings handling the attack on the 3rd base, and looks like Dirkovich is going to go ahead and put up a couple of sunks just to defend against any bio that tries to move across the map again.
It did get some drone kills, and it forced a lane response and those 2 sunkens from Dirkovich. So considering the size of the Marine Medic force, I think it was actually pretty cost effective for Barisu.
Alright, we do see that Dirkovich is going to go ahead and make a lot of lurkers and lings. It looks like the plan to me here is probably going to be to bust the front. We do see he's going to go ahead and go into Hive. The one thing that we don't have from Zerg is any upgrades. So that +1 carapace, if you're planning on going Ling Lurker, is like super important against SK Terran style. Because that, and also like we see he's going straight into Ultralisk. If you can get that +1 carapace started earlier, then you're like in such good shape against Marine Medic. You can actually fight it instead of your units just melting.
Yeah, and we've talked before about just skipping Defilers, but I actually really like that he's getting the Ultra Cavern because Defilers are so hard to use.
Yeah.
So just go straight into getting the unit that you can use at this level, which is Ultras, just a move Ultras.
Right, I like this attack a lot from Dirkovich, but the tanks and the Hydra are doing a ton of damage when they bury the lurkers all pumped up like that. So it does manage to get some units in his base and keep Barisu at home. Probably buying him time to get into his Ultra Tech. But like I'm not sure what the upgrades are on for Terran. But if the Ultras are just 0/0 Ultras, they can melt very easily. Yeah, we see the Marines have +1, so I don't know. I feel like he needs at least +1 carapace or chitinous plating on his Ultras.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the defensive positioning there for Barisu, it actually reminds me that he plays these. He's a part of the No Hunters Free For All community, which is a funny little Discord where they only play non-hunters Free For All maps, and I think that defensive play is a little bit of a hallmark from his experience there, where he just turtles in these weird games for like over an hour. The games are just miserable to play. But moving out, unfortunately, no medics with this army now.
Yeah,
but
definitely
let's see.
difficult against lurkers. You don't have any medics. Alright, Dirkovich got his Evo chamber going, so I guess we're gonna see what's popping out of these eggs. He does have some slow ultras coming out. Since there is no medics with this army, I actually think that he can probably take it out. Especially if Barisu throws down an Irradiate on an Ultralisk. It's going to do a lot of damage to the Marines that are around it, and he has no medics to mitigate that.
He has a one single medic now.
Okay, I stand corrected. There is a single medic. Most inaccurate caster badge. Alright. I believe that's the second vessel that Dirkovich manages to get with Scourge. So nice play from him. Just keeping those vessels back is incredibly important for her. Nice Scourge Irradiate too from Barisu.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I don't think I've ever seen that before.
Really? I've seen pros do that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Especially if there's a whole flock of Scourge coming at vessels. If you just irradiate one of them, it like can save like 5 vessels.
No, yeah, it makes sense for sure.
Mm-hmm. Alright, nice little contain coming down here from Terran. I think that Dirkovich is probably just waiting for his Ultralisk upgrades to finish before he attacks this. Or not.
Well, no, his carapace did finish.
Oh, his carapace finished, yeah. Alright, looks like the units are kind of just melting here. GG is called for third. And we do have Barisu going to go ahead and stay in the running, and we'll see him up against a Protoss player next. Terran confirmed for broken.
And so let me just get our tier 3 Protoss Durandal in here.
Alright, do we know what team Durandal's from?
He's actually also from Semion Fire. All the tier 3
I
players
can
are
see-
stimming.
I can see how you did the recruiting for this.
I'd like to say I forced my players into doing it, but he actually just volunteered himself. I had nothing to do with it. I really didn't. Okay.
All right.
So the next map will be Tau Cross.
All right. Tau Cross for TVP. Man, this is the part where we regret having 2 Zergcasters because I don't know a ton about PvT. I can pretend, but usually when we do Apocalypse matches, I rely on Least having something to say, which I know sounds ridiculous. Somehow.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I can commentate TVP at a very basic level, but I definitely don't know the ins and outs of Terran or Protoss build orders in these matchups, that's for sure. And, I guess, let me...
We do have Faust in the chat asking about hopefully we make it a weekly or monthly thing. I think that's the plan. Keen can confirm, but I think it's like a weekly or bi-weekly.
Yeah,
we're just kind of experimenting with the format so far.
Yeah, I'm hoping to do it again next week and do it at a more European-friendly time, because that was one of the complaints about it today.
Durandal. We got him in the game. We need Barisu to come back.
Yeah, I'm just trying to wrangle him in here.
Yeah, the idea is it's kind of like a volunteer basis. And I think like probably once you've played one, if we have a lot of interest in this, it'll be like, if you played 1 week, you can't play again unless there's no one who hasn't played that wants to play kind of thing. But I think it's a good way to practice best of ones and get people playing on all the CPL maps more comfortably, even if they don't have a week to prepare the map. And with that, looks like we're going to jump into our second best of one on Tau Cross.
So yeah, I'm actually looking forward to this. I've seen Barisu's TVP a few times, like I said, and he does some pretty funny offbeat builds. I've seen him go Marine Medic multiple times in the matchup, which I think is actually a pretty effective strategy at lower levels. It's really hard for the Protoss to deal with. Generally, Terrans don't go Marine Medic because Marine Medic gets torn apart by both Storm and Reavers, but if the Protoss doesn't scout it properly, and if they get caught off guard with just Zealots and Dragoons against a strong Terran Marine Medic army, they'll just get shredded.
So we kind of have bad colors in this game, but we do have Barisu, our Terran player, in the upper right, and Durandal in the kind of like bottom right-ish location, as I like to say. I think maybe next game we should ask them to choose contrasting colors because it's a little bit iffy. At least it's not a mirror matchup. Definitely both colors I approve of though. Purple and bluish gray. Bluish
Yeah,
purple.
for sure. Purple Terran is great.
Yeah, purple in general is just a good color.
So looking like we're hopefully going to see another standard game coming out of our players here. There's no cheesy shenanigans involved.
Yeah, anyways. I hope we see some, especially if we have like like tier 2 versus tier 1 kind of games. I feel like that's a lot of fun. I don't know Barisu's TVP that well, I guess. But I have played Durandal before, and I feel like Barisu might be favored.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess I played him PV or ZVP, but I don't know. Barisu seems to play more, so that would lead me to believe that if you play more frequently.
Yeah, Barisu is actually very active. Like I said, he's always in those free-for-all games.
Yeah, so just like time spent on game. It's funny though, because he's not spamming at all. You see he's going at like 40 APM right now. That's all you need for Terran, guys.
Meanwhile, Durandal is... Well, he's dropping a little bit now, but he was almost at 200 for a while. It always surprises me when I see tier 3 players that are faster than I am.
I mean, spamming at the beginning, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Alright, looks like we're gonna have just pretty standard on both sides so far. I guess we're gonna see what Durandal decides to tech to as Protoss. We could probably see him go into Templar tech or into Reaver tech. Or I guess he could go Gateway Man. And I guess in late game we'll see if he goes Arbiter or Carrier eventually. I don't know the exact builds for Protoss. But we can also see like when he decides to take his expansion. I know there's been a lot of discussion about Nexus timings on Elmaster's Discord. So we'll have to judge his Nexus timing.
Yeah, I believe it's
in great detail.
I believe the most standard are like 23 Nexus and 29 Nexus, but I'm also not an expert on Protoss builders. I think 28, 29 Nexus is like the most standard.
It's 21 and
21? Okay.
Or 12. Okay. Yeah, I was just memeing, but you know, whatever.
Okay. No, I really don't.
I wasn't sure if you were memeing with the 23, 29, but then you sounded serious, so I was like, maybe I should.
No. I really don't know anything about PvP. I'm sorry.
That's when you just meme and or just like say something and then just pretend you're joking.
Yeah, no, I totally dropped the ball there, and I'm ashamed of myself. Okay, thank you. See, Tempest has actually off-raced here. When I play Protoss, I just totally wing it. Like, I don't have anything planned at all.
Yeah, he's muted.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I'm just confused.
Yeah, that's okay. You're allowed to be confused. Hashtag mash confusion. That's what Razor said in his Apocalypse interview, so. Alright, we do see that as far as the Nexus timings go, Durandal never expanded on any of the supplies that we suggested, so we're just sticking to one base Protoss for now. Because he is on 30 supply. So I guess we'll see if he maybe has some kind of one base all-in planned, or if he's just planning on expanding at a later date. Not really money, though.
Brisu still hasn't taken his gas. Oh, he's building his natural gas. So this is quite the strange game indeed.
Alright, yeah. I mean, we're talking about build, but I don't know that...
Yeah, I don't know if the build theory applies here yet.
Yeah, not sure. Looks like
he might just die too.
Is that bunker empty though? Like, is there Marines in the bunker? Because we just saw one Marine come out and die. I guess he must assume there is because he's attacking it from range. I'm just curious to...
Okay, there is.
I wasn't sure there for a sec.
And so it's looking like he might actually go into that Marine medic thing again, but I'm not sure that he'll be able to survive this much longer, waiting for the Marine medics to get online.
Oh, right, because it costs a lot of money to keep repairing. Looks like Brisu does have turrets in his main, so I guess those are like anti-shuttle turrets, in case the Protoss is going Reaver. But
yeah.
Looks like Protoss is just doing a one base gateway all in. Kind of looks what he's doing to me.
Yeah, like sort of a delayed bulldog. Oh wow.
Oh, we got the bunker. That's crazy. This is actually really good for Durandal.
Yeah, I don't see how Brisu's gonna be able to survive this. There's no way.
I mean, SCVs are pretty broken, so don't get ahead of yourself. But he just has enough Dragoons that he can one-shot them, so he's kind of at that magic number. You actually need, like, a lot of Dragoons. It's like 6 shots to kill an SCV, I think.
All the Marines getting... Let's see if the SCVs can pull it off.
Right, he's taking down all the Marines, and he's killing a ton of SCVs. So even though Durandal hasn't expanded, and he's loading a lot of money right now, if you just take a look at the supplies, I think it really tells the story. Protoss
this is
units early.
This is completely over. I have no idea why Barisu. He took his gas so late, and then he got the early eBay because he was scared of a Reaver drop, like you said. But that's just... You have to make army at some point. You can't just delay it to be safe.
We do have Dragoons in the main. It looks like Durandal just planning on rallying goons. Is floating a ton of money, but I think he's busy microing his unit in the base of Barisu. So just try and go ahead and micro against those SCVs, because SCVs are totally capable of killing Dragoons. And I think this is just kind of the slow end of Barisu here. And we'll be having Durandal play against our next Zerg player here, I guess.
Yeah, tier 2 Zerg player coming up.
Yeah, who is that player, by the way?
That is June, who, I believe he's on...
He's on my team, Operation
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen June play EVP, but I haven't seen them play CVP. So I think their EVP is pretty good. So I guess we'll see how that goes.
And is June a new addition to CPL? I feel like
No, June's been around for a while. I think they're like a holdover from Drag's team. So kind of part of that group. So we kind of have like on Operation Decisions, there's like a lot of people who are friends from being on Dragon's team in earlier CPLs. And then we also have a couple people from old MCMS. So it's kind of like that plus some new people. So I think June was on Dragon's team, so they're friends with those people. Looks like Barisu taking a hidden base and sent all his SCVs to Durandal's main. So
yeah, I'm hoping Durandal can figure this out in a timely fashion. So, well, like I said, I think this is also part of that no hunters FFA behavior, where they just literally try to stay in the game no matter what. Because the maps are also huge, so they go find some like random corner and see if they can build up again.
Right, I guess, because if you play a game where there's like more than 2 people, I guess like if you do hide and rebuild.
Yeah, you have a chance to come back.
Yeah.
Not a very good one though.
Yeah, I mean I don't play a ton of team games, so I can't attest to that, but can only hide on the map for so long. Alright, couple Dragoons checking the other main, gonna go ahead and chase that SCV down. And it looks like Durandal is going to finally expand, but he has a huge bank, even though he's only on 1 base. Just from, I think, microing his Dragoons a lot.
Yeah, and I think he just missed quite a few macro cycles too. Okay.
Alright.
Thank God. Okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and tap out. And with that, we're gonna have the Protoss player Durandal is going to survive to challenge our tier 2 Zerg player June. I'm not sure what our next map is.
Yeah, our next map is Clayfields.
Oh, yes, Clayfields. Who was calling it a sausage map? Was that you?
Yeah. And I mean, nothing against Jukato. He's a foreign map maker, and he's made quite a few really interesting maps. But I don't know, Clayfields just bothers me. The pathfinding always seems to mess up on it because of the ridges there, and then the eggs on the side bases. I don't know. I just never seem to have a good experience on it.
Yeah, it's just like the little high ground thing I always find very strange. But I guess we're gonna see how they decide to play on it ZVP. I think the high ground maybe matters a lot more in like TVP. So with the matchup that we've landed on this map, I guess we have the side where the little high ground, because I feel like that's the most interesting feature on the map in general. If you know what I mean? Like the little high ground piece outside of the natural.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's so weird because it's like not a whole high ground, kind of like on circuit breakers. There's a really easy path to the right and the left. So it's just kind of an interesting option. Great place to put tanks though for defense, I think.
Yeah. It would seem like a place where you would want to have like a lurker field, but like you said, it doesn't quite seem to make sense for it because it's not like on circuit breakers where it's just like an obvious pathway. Like it can just be avoided.
It doesn't go down directly onto a base.
Right.
Yeah.
I do think because the naturals are a little narrow. I feel like a far natural style could be good on this map, but
we'll see. I think June actually likes that style, so we might see him try that. All right, we're gonna go ahead and jump into our third best of one on clay fields. And we do have Durandal, our Protoss player, in the upper left, and our Zerg player, June, in the bottom right. In the orange and red. So we're sticking to one side of the color spectrum.
Yeah,
match.
Unfortunately, Durandal was like map specified color, so I guess he couldn't change.
This is fine. Like this is much more visible than blue purple. So
I'll host on melee next game, so the players can change.
All right. My experience with Durandal is that he likes to just hide a base. So we'll see what he chooses to do. PvZ. I think June is pretty favored here. So I'm expecting him to take this out, no problem.
It's always so disheartening when you find a hidden base as Zerg finally, though, and you're just wondering like how long have they had that.
Yeah, I guess you know that specifically because you play practice with Dragoon.
Yeah, no, I was specifically thinking of the game that I played for the master class. I wasn't sure how long he had it up during the game, but then I went back and watched afterwards, and he had it for like quite a while. I was honestly not sure how I was able to win that game after seeing that.
Right. If you guys haven't checked out that masterclass, by the way, it is actually uploaded to our YouTube now, so the CPL YouTube. It was a Protoss masterclass with Master Ray off of Team Socialized Healthcare. Definitely recommend going and checking that out. It was a really great class. He went over 2 PvPs and a PvZ. And he had like tons of great advice and specific advice for the replays. So I definitely think that that's worth checking out if you guys haven't looked at that yet.
So we see Durandal actually opting for a gateway fast expand, but I think his gateway was a bit late.
Yeah, and he is across positions as well. I guess we'll see at what timing June scouts it and how many drones they make after they expand. Because I think they just went overpool.
An interesting little trick by June, actually anticipating the probe movement and hiding his expansion drone so it doesn't get blocked. I like that a lot.
Yeah, I like it too. Getting your expansion blocked by a probe is so irritating as Zerg.
You really shouldn't be telling him that. Just tell him you're totally fine with it. Like you don't even care at all. They definitely shouldn't even waste the energy because it just doesn't phase you.
Yeah, true. But I mean, a lot of the times it actually, like, if they pile on block it, it just puts them behind. So I don't know.
Do you think the pylon block, if they cancel it, puts them behind though? I mean, I guess it does. It definitely does.
I don't think it's that good, but especially if you don't like, if you just wait and float larva and try and get your hatchery down, that is bad. for you. But if you just like are building stuff anyways, I think it's fine. I don't know.
No, it's definitely not. It's just a little tilting thing.
Yeah.
It's not game ending by any means if you get your hatchery delayed a little bit.
Definitely some interesting cannon and wall placement by Durandal.
Yeah, so this is definitely not good for Durandal because June really didn't commit too hard to the Lings.
Yeah, I think they only built 6 links. And the next is super delayed.
Yeah, generally when you're going gateway fast expand, unless they're going really all in with a like fast link speed and just pumping lings off of every larva, you really don't need to go forge before your nexus, especially not with 2 cannons. So maybe Durandal is just a little unfamiliar with this build. But well played by June.
He also has his probe kind of in the corner of Zerg's base, so I'm not sure, maybe he forgot about it, but he actually, because he's not moving his probe around, he's kind of in the dark, so he might be afraid of some kind of like bust or laying all in, because like if he's forgotten that his probe is there, he can't actually see what Zerg is doing from that position.
We actually see June fanning out lings to find zealots that might be out on the map, which I think is really pretty impressive from a tier 2 player.
Yeah, looking for zealots or not lings, probes. But he's definitely got, I think he's got an overlord right in front of the natural, so he's able to see everything that's going on. Yeah. And go ahead and check that forge upgrade time, which is a little bit early. So I don't know. I think from the time he scouted it, he could assume it's a zealot push. But I don't know that he would assume that it's Citadel skipping Stargate. And we do see that like Durandal's tech is pretty behind. Anyways, either way. So I think June will have a lot of time to be ready for this kind of push.
Yeah, yes. So one thing that I think, I'm actually surprised that Durandal went gateway fast expand, because it's a pretty hard build to pull off in terms of multitasking, and it kind of throws everything off a little bit depending on how you play it. So most newer players I see, they just stick to forge fast expand for quite a while.
Right, yeah. And I think that we definitely see that a lot in CPL. Kind of like a favor towards forge fast expanding.
But we're seeing a fast robo facility here. So I'm wondering if he's going to try to go into some Dragoon Reaver play.
I would be down for that. I would like to see that.
Or maybe he's just afraid of fast lurkers.
He still has a probe in the corner of his base, of June's base. June, by the way, just doing a very standard Spire build. It was a little bit delayed as far as timing goes overall because he did do it off a gate expand and he had to make extra Zerglings. But Durandal not choosing to go Corsairs, so it won't be punishing that kind of late Spire. You get pretty fast tech when you go gate first. Which is, by the way, why you see Zergs actually stop the Corsair off of gate expand with Hydras instead of going Spire right away. Because it's just, you're so poor if you build a lot of links and still try and go layer right away. You just don't have enough drones on minerals to support the gas.
Yeah, there's just no way you'll be able to get the Scourge on time, for sure. So I guess it's a little disappointing. I was hoping to see some Dragoon Reaver. But yeah, I guess he's just going to transition into sort of a standard PvZ army composition. But he still hasn't...
getting gateway units.
Still not getting his Templar Archives, though.
Yeah, he's definitely going to need Storm, because I think June's going to come in here with a Hydra Pod. Oh, he's actually going to mute us. Interesting choice. I guess he saw that he skipped Stargate with the Overlord, so he's going to go ahead and yeah, sunk each base, get probably about 5 mutas, and then just drone really hard behind it.
But he's not doing anything with the mutas yet. I'm wondering what he's waiting for.
They just hatched. I think it was just, he's moving across the map now. It looks like behind this we're gonna see, June droned a little bit extra because he made the mutas, and now he's gonna go straight into Hydras. And looks like the Templar Archive's about to finish for Durandal. I'm not sure if he's gonna have Storm in time though, to be honest, to deal with the Hydras.
No, it's definitely super late.
Alright, we do see June actually floating a lot of money. I'd love to see them put down a couple of extra hatcheries. Maybe in a 4th base at this time. Just kind of scouting what Protoss is doing.
Finding a nice little corner to harass the Protes. I wish he had a 5th Mutalisk though.
Did he? Or did he only ever make 4?
He only ever made 4.
Oh.
He is remaking a couple more now though.
Yeah. Alright, we do have the Speed Zealot and Dragoon push coming out from Durandal. He did manage to maintain a supply lead over June, so nice play from tier 2 or tier 3 Protoss player. He is actually keeping his, like, before now he's kept his money like decent.
Yeah, and he's actually also, to give him credit, like his upgrades aren't too bad. He's already started as +2.
Right, yeah.
And this is actually doing more damage than I expected it to.
Yeah, I mean,
but it should still
definitely clean this up.
Yeah, it'll definitely be cleaned up, but he got through a decent amount of units. He killed the Sunken. It's something without any high Templar tech.
Yeah, I think there's actually Zealots in the main. I'm not sure if they're harassing. Yeah, trying to harass the drones, but it looks like it's not actually being targeted correctly. So not doing as much damage as you can do if you have just a Zealot in the main for an extended period of time.
And here we see the
hidden base.
the hidden base. He also has a pylon in June's main. I'm not sure how long that's been there actually.
He just remembered his probe was there. Alright, I'd love to see him build a gateway with that pylon, and then just, like, build DTs. Where did all the drones go in the main?
I think he transferred them because of the Zealots in the main.
Okay. Alright, June is going to go ahead and take a 4th base behind that. And looks like they're going to keep macroing out Hydra. And actually it's built a lot of links. I guess that's probably because they went into mutas. You have some minerals left over. If you do build like that. You can also just throw down extra hazards, but I find lings just aren't quite as strong once you've got +1 carapace.
Yeah. Yeah, generally lings will be super weak until you're at the late game 3/3 upgrade point. You're always going to be behind Protoss in weapon upgrades, so they'll just melt to Zealots. We see he picked off a Templar there, that was okay. But Durandal actually making 2 gateways and a cannon. He's investing more into this than I expected him to. But yeah, hopefully we'll see those DPs. Because June actually doesn't have any Overlords in his main right now.
Yeah, so and you'd have to notice it too, right? Like it doesn't make a sound on the minimap.
No, yeah, exactly. It doesn't make any notification whatsoever. I've definitely had those games myself where I won't even realize it until I just look at my minerals and it's like, why don't I have enough money? Like this isn't making sense to me, and then I pan back to my main and there's no drones left. It feels bad.
Right. And looks like this hidden expansion is going to continue to get up. June's still staying on Hydrotech. I don't think we've seen lurkers yet. So
no, we have not.
But as Hawk was telling us yesterday, You can stay on Hydras until Protoss gets a third gas, so. He hasn't actually started mining gas for third base, so I guess we're in good shape.
But I'm actually surprised that June doesn't seem to have any upgrades finished.
Oh yeah, this actually is surprising, because they did do that, like, Hydra Spire build. So usually
Yeah, and the Evo chamber was like built at a pretty reasonable time.
It looks like he went ahead and picked off most of the storm, but lots of units coming in here for Protoss. I don't know if June has to tech to stop this.
But the Protoss army getting a little split there, getting distracted by an Overlord. I actually thought he was going to completely mop that up, but
right, but
still doing well.
Yeah, we still have some storm left. We had 2 extra Templars coming in the back. And these Hydras are really just having a hard time against these the Goons and the Zealots.
But he attacks the Hydra Den by accident and just loses it for free. That's so tragic.
Yeah, he actually he ran out of Zealots. And I think he wasn't macroing behind that push at all if you look at his money, unfortunately. So I feel like if he had been macroing and rallying behind that, he almost could have killed June there, because there was like a weakness in tech to deal with the amount of storm that Durandal had.
We do see the DTs, so
4 DTs. All right, I guess we'll see how much damage this does. Looks like June was just looking at the main because there was an Evo chamber built. But 4 DTs killed a base so quickly and got almost all of those drones. It looks like he's going to try and target down the lair. I don't know if I like that decision, because the lairs have so much health. I feel like targeting down the Spire or even the spawning pool would have been a better option.
Yeah, definitely the Spire would have been the ideal choice there. But June isn't reacting, though.
Get it anyways. Yeah, no reaction at all.
But he switched.
Oh, well, I don't know why he switched. But is he just going to get it anyways? Oh my goodness. Alright guys, and this is why Dark Templar is so strong.
And nice little tactic by Durandal trying to get an attack on the front going while he was distracted, but unfortunately Durandal was also distracted and he barely microed it at all.
Yeah, and I think there just wasn't enough units there also.
Yeah.
The real strength with Protoss in PvZ is having your Deathball army all together. And kind of like bleeding units to third is just not ideal in general. It does look like we're coming in here with some units, and third's economy is very weak right now because we lost all those drones. So these speed level Zealots doing a lot of damage, and June has a bunch of Hydras left in their main that they've kind of forgotten about. And can't build anymore right now because they actually lost the Hydra Den. Are we gonna see an upset in this game?
It looks like it, yeah. I mean, Durandal has actually been keeping up with his macro pretty well. You mentioned during the first big attack, he was floating a ton of resources, but since then he seems to have recovered a little bit.
Back down, yeah. I think he has a lot of gateways in his main, which is a play that I really like. Yeah, just like extra gateways. If you're like unsure if you can keep up with your macro, just make extra gateways, just make extra hatcheries, just make extra factories.
Yeah, definitely.
It'll kind of like, it helps like mitigate the fact that you miss macro rounds, basically.
Yeah, tier 2, tier 3, even tier 1 and tier 0 players in CPL, honestly, like, take those, the figures that you see pro gamers throw around, like you should have, like, 8 gates at this time or whatever. Take those with a grain of salt, because none of us are at a level where those apply to us. None of us have perfect macro.
Right. Alright, looks like June going to try and get a handle back on this game. I think that they're re-droning, although it looks like there's no drone still at the natural. But the 4th base up and running, still doesn't know about top right. So probably feeling a lot better about this game. Oh, there we go. Overlord's in top right now. So knows that Protoss has a hidden base.
Oh, nice
But
storm.
also lost the lair, so isn't going to be able to get into 5-10 anytime soon. Because you have to remake
Wow.
that.
He
Oh
just
wow,
leaves.
GG's called. And I
Wow,
guess we have
so
our first
that's
upset.
definitely was not expecting that, especially not in a PVZ.
Yeah, no, me neither. But I guess it was just like a couple things went wrong for June. Just like the mutas didn't actually do that much damage. And then like the upgrades didn't really work out for them. And yeah, I'm not sure exactly what happened.
I think June just got into a situation that I've gotten into quite a few times myself, where you just get frazzled when Protoss does their little Protoss thing and they run zealots into your base, and so you have all these fronts where you're just scrambling trying to mop up the remains of the Protoss army that you finally killed, and it's just a lot to work on at one time when you're already kind of like reeling from the big fight and losing all these drones and tech buildings and everything. It's hard to collect yourself.
Yeah, yeah. And the DTs in the main did a ton of damage.
Yeah,
Just like
that was
forgetting,
huge.
like both of them forgot about the scouting probe for too long. Alright, looks like our next map is going to be match point. And we're going to have our tier 3 player Durandal up against our tier 2 Terran, which is Foxbat from Team Passion Daddies. Now, just big shout out to Foxbat for being the most cheerful person in the Foreign Brood War community. I don't think there's a single person who has him rivaled.
Yeah, unfortunately, I haven't had the chance to talk to Foxbat too much.
Foxbat's great. You are welcome to take my word from it. All right, what do you think about match point in TVP? Because I like asking you difficult questions.
Yeah, so I think it's actually, I think it's going to be hard for our Terran, or it could be hard for our Terran. Maybe not necessarily against the tier 2, but I think it's kind of hard for Terran to get their third gas up. It's really easy for them to take their mineral only, but it's kind of like a long way to spread tanks and defenses. But on the other hand, I guess Terran can just, if they sim city with depots properly at the ramps at their third gas in the corners, they could defend it with a small amount of tanks and turrets. So I don't know.
I always felt like this might be good for Terran because it's a 2-player map. Because
yeah,
Protoss can't take another main and get more gateways.
yeah. If it gets to the point where they split the map, then I would say Terran is definitely favored. See, match point is a lot like Blue Storm, which I don't know if you've ever played, but that map is actually pretty terrible for Terran because it's so easy for Protoss to overwhelm the Terran with carriers. The terrain is just so advantageous for it. But this map isn't quite as good for carriers. So in a normal split map scenario where Protoss is just relying on a standard ground army with Arbiter tech, I would think they would be pretty advantaged.
Right. I wonder if there's like that's a good incentive to just go for a 2-base push on this map, like a 2-base 5-fact. I feel like that could be really strong on match point. Especially because there's like if you look at the kind of like the third gas for Protoss in like top left or bottom right, and then you see that little bit of high ground that kind of threatens both the mineral only and the gas base. I feel like if you get a mech army set up on that high ground, that's got to be super hard to break as Protoss.
Yeah, I mean, another thing for early game timing pushes that we can talk about is it's actually super good to set up on this low ground area outside of the natural. If Protoss actually lets them get set up there, I think that would be game ending because they can just shoot up and it's just a natural terrain wall.
Right, you can't get that nice arc that Protoss wants to use to fight the mech. Oh, looks like we have Joradaddy in the game. Looks like both our players are just kind of on be right back. So hope you guys are enjoying the event so far. I see the chat has been pretty active. I'm not really keeping up with it. We do see Avon Hockey, which is the incorrect pronunciation of his name, but I am legally obligated to change the pronunciation of everyone's ID. So if you have any complaints, you can find someone to file that with. And Avon Hockey says Terran is strong if TVP goes long on this map. But there's not enough bases for Protoss, which is basically what you said. He's also saying that recall can be really strong. And we did actually see this in one of the Apocalypse matches, and I'm thinking that everyone who is planning on watching it has watched it by now, because it was like the second one, Agate versus George, where George had prepared a drop strategy against Protoss on this map. And when we asked him about it in the interview afterwards, he said, well, Matchpoint just has huge mains, so drops are really good. And I imagine that's kind of the same thing for recall. There's just like a lot of surface area, so how are you supposed to cover all of that with turrets and mines?
You hurt Foxbat's feelings.
I hurt Foxbat's feelings? I didn't forget he was playing. What?
Yeah, I thought you remembered it, but
I didn't dodge you in preseason either. Oh my god. We should practice sometime, Foxbat. All right, we had also shout out to Kazooie in the chat. I don't know why he got banned. Why did Kazooie get banned in the chat?
Tempest is just moody.
He's a CPL player. Yeah. He's on my team. Yeah, he's fine. He's just trolling me. It's all good. All right. We'll get Kazooie back in the chat. All right, we have Crane as well, another player that's going to be playing later tonight, our tier 1 Protoss player. And we have Crane calling out CPL being corrupt people's league, which I would say is correct. Hello, Kaz. I hope you play in the next Race Wars. I think that would be really fun. Or Eradication event.
Yeah, Kazu was another one of the tier 2 Zergs that volunteered, but I just did a coin flip because there was 2 of them, and June unfortunately won. Sorry, Kazu. Definitely next time, for sure.
Yeah, he's actually European, so I'm sure he'd prefer to play at like not the middle of the night for him. So. All right. We're still waiting on the players. So, how are you doing today, Keen?
Not bad. Looks like okay, almost ready. I got my hopes up a little bit here.
Come on, you gotta fill time as well. See, this is part of the thing. Like, I'm filling time, but you also have to fill time. So I asked you how you are. Time to fill time.
Yeah, Oh, Tempest is telling me to talk about the weather for the stream, just so you guys know. I just want to preface this because I know that's the most boring conversational topic ever, but it's actually raining all day here. It was really depressing.
It rained here as well, but I love the rain. The rain is the greatest.
Yeah, normally I like rain, but I live in Humboldt County in Northern California, and it rains a lot here, so it just really wears you down. I mean, it has been a while. It's been a couple weeks without rain here, so I shouldn't have such an adverse reaction to it. But yeah, it kind of during the winter season, it's just a constant stream. So
Yeah, I mean, it's like that where I'm from as well. I'm actually from the west coast of BC, but I don't know. I grew up here, so I just love the rain so much, and I'm just so relieved that we're getting rain right now because I feel like last month was pretty dry all around, and we have like forest fire problems on the coast in the summer, and I know you guys have that in California as well.
oh yeah, no, I really
it's great
shouldn't.
that we're getting some rain.
I shouldn't complain because the forest fires have been brutal for the last few years.
Yeah. All right. Looks like we did manage to jump into our next map, although we do have Keen lagging us out here.
Oh god.
So we might have to restart the game. I don't know what's up. I mean, I can't see it though, because he's screen sharing, so you'd have to screen share to me. Guys, my laptop is great. It won't run. Yeah, if you have a desktop, you should be able to do it, but yeah. 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 All right. So we're on back on forest fires. Yeah, we have like I remember there was a couple of years ago and there was like a fire close, like a forest fire that was pretty close to where I was living at the time. And it was just like there was just a whole month of just smog
Yeah.
in the city. And it's just like it's so bad for breathing and you don't get to enjoy summer at all because it's like warm and just smoky. You can't even just like hazy, you can't even see anything. So I'm hoping we get like a lot of rain in May to make up for the fact that April was so dry. And hopefully we can just like not have as many forest fires because that's scary. It looks like
Okay.
the screen share is back up.
Yeah. Hopefully I won't disconnect. I rarely happens. Really, I don't know what happened there. And I'm still getting this map specified thing, but because I have to use map settings still. Okay, I bet. But the colors aren't too bad.
All right, this time for real. We do have Foxbat in the bottom left and Durandal in the top right. No, Durandal taking out our tier 2 Zerg player with a nice game by him. I feel like he showed a lot of promise in that game. I think that if he can clean up his build order, he could be really quite good.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, he's one of the recent additions to our team. I haven't unfortunately gotten a chance to play with him yet, but yeah, I'll be sure to work with him when I'm built.
I feel like you should get Dragoon to work with him because I feel like they would agree about hidden bases and style.
Oh yeah.
He's like the perfect student. We'll change his ID to Dragoon Jr. Just because I'm like obligated to change everyone's ID, so. We have Dragoon Jr. And it even starts with, it still starts with D. So like same letter, it's perfect. It's just a flawless plan. All right, Foxbat though going to have a considerably tighter build than Barisu did, and we did see that like Durandal's other PvT build seemed quite messy to me, and I don't think that Foxbat is going to make the same mistakes that Barisu did with the bunker and the expansion. So I feel like this might be a tough match for our Protoss player.
Yeah, I'm sure Foxbat will be getting his gas before the 6-minute mark.
Yeah, and I just want to once again give a shout out to Foxbat for being the most cheerful person in the 4 Brewbar community. If you don't know this guy, he's just great. I mean, he's on Elmaster's Discord, he's in CPL, and he's just like, he just always has positive things to say. He's a great addition to the community. He's been around for a while too. I think he was around ever since I started playing.
If I remember correctly, didn't he go to the one of the New York City lands?
Yeah, he did. He did. And he like he took a bunch of pictures and posted them in Elmaster's Discord as well.
But while we were talking, the Protoss scouting probe was actually able to get an SCB kill. That's pretty amazing.
He's also hiding it right now. Looks like Foxbat gonna go ahead and build depots on the edge of the vision of the main. Smart play. This is just gonna help him out with vision. And we do see that, like, I feel like Durandal might actually try to hide buildings again. So if Foxbat keeps scouting like he has been scouting, with the depots and keeping the vision alive, that will be easily shut down. And looks like we're just going to see a classic factory expand from Terran. This matchup, probably siege expand, but we'll see what he decides to do. You see, he actually pulled the SCVs off of gas, so it's not going to be a 2-factory build. He is actually planning on building a command center, I think.
It looks like we're going to see another goon heavy build from Durandal, just like the first game. I'm a little surprised to see the second gateway going down before goon range even starts.
Yeah, I'm not really too sure on the specifics of Protoss builds. I guess that, like, he could be going for a 28 Nexus, but just based on what we saw from that other game, I feel like we're not going to see anything that resembles a super clear build order from him, which is actually good because I don't know Protoss build orders, so
Right.
I can just roll with the punches.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think 28 Nexus is a thing if there's 2 gates ever, right?
No idea.
So I'm thinking we might see just another 3-gate, sort of like
3-gate goon.
Bulldog build, almost.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you get a shuttle for a Bulldog, I think.
Yeah. No,
yeah.
you 100% do. Yeah, I guess he didn't get a shuttle in the first game, did he? But he did get a fast robo just like this.
Yeah, I guess he could go for, like, if he threw down another gateway and then... Oh.
Taking a lot of damage from his
yeah, I think he just ran it forward to confirm the expansion. But I guess he could have done that with the probe as well, seeing how he still has it in the main. Or maybe he killed it. Oh yeah, it's still there. Alright. Foxbat gonna go ahead and make a wall.
Not a particularly tight wall, though. But that's a good observation about the using the Dragoon as a scout. Completely correct. I guess wasn't giving Durandal the credit he maybe deserves. I thought it was unintentional.
I'm not sure if it was intentional or unintentional, but I see people run the Goon in, and he didn't actually take any damage on the Goon. He only took shield damage.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I definitely see people do that just to check if there's a command center, because I know at least on ladder, like a forward bunker into 2-fact with no expansion is actually a really popular build.
Yeah,
people do a lot. So I think that just taking that shield damage and checking for the command center is important, just to make sure that you don't get blindsided by that. Although I think that Durandal theoretically should be pretty safe from that anyways, because he has so many gateways down.
Mm-hmm. We see him getting the Zealots, so yeah, looking like it'll be another Bulldog game.
Alright. We do have 4 goons in front of the main, and Foxbat is safe with his siege tank behind his wall. And he actually managed to also sneak out an SCV scout, so he scouts that Protoss still doesn't have a Nexus, and he's also going to scout the shuttle. So great play by Foxbat here, sneaking that SCV out, because now he knows exactly what's coming from Protoss. Yeah,
before that I was going to say that because Foxbat's SimCity has a gap, the Bulldog could potentially be really successful, but now that he has pretty much complete scouting information, I think he should be able to completely defend this. And then Durandal's economy is just going to be so bare bones that don't really see a pathway back into the game for him.
And now we just have both players have a worker in each other's base, just in the corner. I love it. Classic. Alright, we did see Foxbat throw down a turret beside one of his siege tanks in his natural. I think that is basically just so that he can't bust the front with the Zealots. And he is building a supply depot, so he is able to have vision on the shuttle coming in. I guess we'll just see what he decides to do about it.
Okay,
I don't know that was the spot to drop, but I guess we'll see.
It could have been executed better, but I like the idea.
Oh man, the SCV pull was so slow on the bunker now, and there's only 3 siege tanks to defend Foxbat. You've got to have a fast repair, which he does manage to repair the one tank. Man, that was actually really close. I feel like he definitely could have busted him there.
Yeah, so if Durandal did what I think he wanted to do, which is drop the Zealots, immediately run in with both the Zealots and the rest of his army, I think he would have actually just killed Foxbat there. But he was really slow with getting his Dragoon army to back up the Zealots. So Foxbat kind of lucking out there a little bit.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
I really thought Foxbat would not even have come that close. Like once he scouted the Zealots, I thought he was going to like make this depot on the left that he's making faster and just be completely ready with the SCVs. Like maybe even having 2 or 3 SCVs there ahead of time to repair.
Yeah, the repair on the bunker was just non-existent.
So he might also just be a little unfamiliar with playing against this because this is not a very common build, as far as I know. It's a pretty old build.
I think Foxbat in general is a pretty like macro-oriented player. I think he tends to be a little bit weaker against really aggressive plays. I haven't played him in a while, but I think I do like vaguely remember that from like playing with him last year.
And so I think his armory is a little late. And he's going up to 5 factories. Do you think this is just going to be a timing push that he's going to try to pull off now, like you were talking about?
I suspect it is, yeah. I mean, Protoss took his natural so late. I feel like if you go a 2-base push against that, it's probably a really good decision. Because it's not like they don't have the, I don't know. They just, like, don't have the economy, maybe, behind it. Or, like, maybe he goes 2-base arbiters. I'm not sure. I don't really know what the response is to a 5-factory build and what counters it. But I feel like on this map in general, because you were saying it's so hard to get a 3rd gas as Terran, even if you do, like, a 5-fact push and, like, kill a base and then expand off that, maybe that's a better option.
Yeah, and I do think that Durandal's economy was so wrecked because of his choice of build. Like I was saying before, it's like if you don't kill him. Okay, we see Foxbat actually moving out right now. This isn't looking wasn't looking good at first, but now that he's sieged, he's just cleaning it up.
Alright, we do have actually no zealots from Durandal here, so fighting with only goons against Terran mech is actually very difficult for Protoss because goons just kind of melt to siege tanks. So we are going to see Foxbat go ahead and push out across the map with his tanks and his vultures. And I wonder if he's going to do the play like you were talking about, like setting up siege tanks on that low ramp. We do see, by the way, that Durandal's going to take bottom right behind this.
It does look like that's what he's planning. Well, he's moving in with the vultures now. But yeah, that attack was kind of a roller coaster for me because initially it looked like Durandal was doing way better than I expected him to, because Foxbat had a bit of a delayed siege.
Right. And there's no mines laid out in front either because he was kind of blocked in his base from the goon contain. And the wall.
But it looks like Foxbat maybe isn't feeling too comfortable with the terrain, like I was saying, so just going through the top, or the bottom rather, of the 3rd mineral army.
Alright, so gonna go ahead and siege in this location. I feel like if he gets his tank set up here, if he can move forward with this push, he does have a lot of mines on those vultures. And he is picking up the zealots with the vultures, so like I was saying before, like goon only army, definitely difficult to fight a Terran push with that because they melt so easily to tanks. Especially there's like this little bit of a choke here between the mineral only and the path leading up to the natural. So you can't get as much of an arc as, say, if you're fighting a mech army in the center of circuit breakers.
And yeah, Foxbat finally laying down some mines, which is good. Protoss he's not macroing behind this.
Yeah, I think he's very distracted trying to micro his units. And as Foxbat kind of like pushes in here and sieges the natural with mines behind us, he is actually rallying units, but His unit rally, he's kind of forgotten about. He's got some vultures rallied, yeah.
But
I
regardless,
feel like Durandal's in a very difficult position because it's not like he has units anywhere else that he can flank this with.
yeah, and he doesn't even really have the economy to try to like sit back and like one thing that protests can do in this situation, if they're natural dies, sometimes they have bases that are actually mining in other places. They can they can delay and try to build up an army in the main and hit the Terran, try to break their push when they have a critical mass. But I don't think Durandal is going to get to that point.
Yeah, I think that Foxbat looking really strong in this game.
But still an impressive run from Durandal, taking down tier 2 player, getting 2 wins for himself.
Yeah, very nice games from Durandal. Like I say, my personal opinion is that you should be Dragoon student.
Yeah, I'll definitely set that up.
Hook them up. Alright, looks like Foxbat
gonna find that expansion too, just to twist the knife a little bit.
Yeah, no probes to kill there, unfortunately. Let's look like Durandal's made a scout.
We'll see if that can turn it around.
Yeah, scout best unit after all. As we all know from the Protoss only team from last season. Goon Squad. I wanted them to call themselves Easy Peasy, but they wouldn't do it. I was sad. I made a name recommendation and it was not taken.
I mean, to be fair, Goon Squad was an alright name.
It was an alright name, but like easy and then P capitalized, Easy Peasy.
Yeah, yeah.
I thought it was good, but they didn't agree with me. Imagine a scout ever killing an SCV though. Foxbat loves scouts.
As a Terran player?
Yeah, he just likes them as a unit.
Do they know each other?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, okay. So it was just a coincidence. It wasn't like a...
Yeah, no. It's just like Foxbat was at the heart of the, like, microwave stove memes in Elmaster's Discord back in the day, so he's a scout guy. He was also the one who started the, like, da-da-da memes.
I'm not up to date on the Elmaster Discord memes, unfortunately.
It's unfortunate. It's kind of over now. It's, like, all old history, but... I mean, that's where I know Foxbat from, so... Alright, we do have an Arbiter out for Durandal. He's on one base, floating 1.2k, and down a ton of supply, so I'm really not feeling it for him, but I guess he might try and do one more push out with the Arbiter. And Foxbat just taking it patiently.
Yeah, I was totally expecting Foxbat to just keep going in, try to end the game, but I actually like seeing this from players in general, but also CPL players, just like recognizing when you have a pretty insurmountable advantage, and like why risk like messing up a micro engagement or something when you can literally just go and expand and take the entire map, and there's basically nothing your opponent can do to stop you. So the game will take a little bit longer and it'll be a little bit more boring, but hey, a win is a win, right? So just make sure you get it no matter what.
Yeah, for sure. And I think like patience in long games like this, like we saw Foxbat take the F4th, and it looks like he's going to try and take a 5th as well. And gonna go ahead and kill his own mine, just in case just to make sure he doesn't get mine dragged.
Yeah, a very nice little detail there. He actually lost a tank. Did you see that? It looked like it died from splash damage, but I don't even know how.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I didn't actually catch that, so. Alright, and I guess in this case, is Foxbat just building a turret ring?
Yeah, he's just building a turret ring.
I love
So
it.
Durandal will have any options. Oh, he actually did get an Arbiter out, though.
Foxbat is gonna scout it. So I guess we'll see if he does manage to EMP it. Alright, looks like Durandal gonna take the opportunity to try and get out of his main. Looks like the Arbiter did get a stasis off. And Durandal goes ahead and calls it GG. And we are going to see Foxbat up against Baker next. We have our last player here for Zerg. So we'll see if Baker can pull it out and redeem Zerg. The absolute smashing in CPL. For Zerg.
And this game will be on Bloody Ridge. Just get it posted up.
Oh, Bloody Ridge. Definitely a Terran. Probably. Well, I don't know. I think that if Terran goes mech here, it's pretty good. I feel like if they go bio, it's can be pretty easy to hold 4 bases as Zerg. I don't know.
I'm sorry, what was that? I didn't catch that.
Oh, I said I don't know. I was just talking about the map balance. I feel like it's an okay map. Like you might see that it's a 2-player map and be, oh yeah, like Terran's super favorite here. But I think it's actually okay. On both ends. I think there's advantages for both players on this map.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely not the worst map in the world for Zerg. I think I like it more than like Overwatch, for example.
I like Overwatch CBT as well, so maybe I just shouldn't talk.
My issue with Overwatch is I just feel like it's really easy for Terran to defend their base with turrets. It seems like it's easy to get pretty decent turret placement. I don't know. I might even be wrong about that, but whenever I 2H Muta on it, it just seems weak.
All right, looks like we have both players in the lobby, and we're going to go ahead and jump into our next best of 1 on Bloody Ridge.
Whereas for Bloody Ridge, the mains are just so wide open, and the ridges over the natural, it just seems pretty decent for mutalist grass.
Right, so we do have our Zerg player, Baker, tier 1 Zerg in the top right. And we have our Terran player, Foxbat, in the red. Yellow Foxbat in the red color in the bottom left.
But at least it's red versus blue. It's actually good colors.
Yeah, good colors. Good job. I'm proud.
One thing about Baker is he does like to. Usually he's just a super standard 3-hatch Muta player, but in ZVT he does mix it up and mix in some 2-hatch builds occasionally, especially 2-hatch lurker builds, which I think could be really good on Bloody Ridge. Especially a 2-hatch lurker drop build, which I'm not sure I've ever seen Baker do. I think he usually does like lurker defiler or just all-in lurkers. But I think a 2-hatch lurker drop on this map would be really, really hard for the Terran to deal with because there's so many places you can drop. And for anyone who doesn't know, a 2-hatch lurker drop build, you just like set up overlords in 2 or 3 different locations around your opponent's base ahead of time, and do a slow drop right when the drop research finishes. So it's really hard for the Terran to scout properly, and then they have to deal with 2 lurkers in 2 different parts of their base. But yeah, we'll
that
see what
definitely seems
Baker
very strong. The games that I've seen of Baker ZBT, I actually really liked. I casted a match of the week, like probably about a month ago now with Sat0, and it was Baker against Jesse was one of the matches, and there was like a Crazy Zerg game. I can't remember the other builds, but they were like definitely like a little bit off-brand builds, and I really liked them. I thought he did a really good job.
Oh yeah, he also likes to do 3rd-hatch third builds.
Yeah, I like those too. But it does look like he is going to go for a 2-hatch replay on this map. with that gas being taken directly after the second hatchery. And it does scout that Foxbat is not getting his gas, so can confirm that it is going to be a Rax Expand build.
And we'll have to see if he actually goes Lurker. I don't want to throw him under the bus and expose him as a player to our enemy's teams, but I'm not sure if I've ever seen him go through Achimita. But I would love it if he did.
Yeah, I mean, he might like 2-edge Muta Crazy Zerg. I actually don't know the build for that, but that could be strong. From the games I've seen from him, I feel like he's gonna do something a little bit non-standard. Like I don't think we're gonna see him do 2-edge Muta into Lurker, into Defiler, into Ultralisk.
No, most likely not. I've been seeing Crazy Zerg referenced a lot more lately, and I'm not really familiar with the 2-edge Muta Crazy Zerg variation either. But it's so interesting to me that it's making like a little mini comeback. Maybe it's just in CPL, but
yeah,
I figured
it's a lot
it's just
easier.
You think so? I feel like it would be so hard to pull off.
No, I think it's a lot easier than 3-edge Muta actually, because you don't have to worry about Defilers, and you don't have to worry about getting Lurkers done. You just build Sunks, right? Like your Lurker timing is mitigated. Your like a really sharp Defiler timing is gone. Having to micro Darkstorm is gone. Like really worrying about holding your third is kind of gone as well. I don't know. There's just like it just skips a lot of the timing.
Right.
Timings. Alright, looks like he's gonna go ahead and try and deny this SCV scout. We did see him throw down a Hydroden, which I believe did not get scouted by Foxbat.
No, it did not. And so, if Foxbat doesn't find out about that soon, it'll almost be a free win for Baker because I think this is actually a really good map for just straight up like all in 2-edge Lurker as well, because the natural is so wide open, and even at the most narrow point, I mean, you could fit, I guess, you could probably fit enough bunkers there, but Foxbat isn't going to have any idea that he's going to need those bunkers up for quite a while now.
Right, we do see is sending another SCV across the map, so I guess we'll see if he manages to get it through the natural. Oh, man, the Lynx move out of the way.
Oh, no.
And if the SCV gets in and sees that it is 2-hatch Lurker, which he does, Foxbat can go ahead and react by building bunkers. And probably a forward turret as well. Yeah, definitely unfortunate. But we'll see if Foxbat can hold this, because I mean it's definitely he would have preferred to see it sooner, but I mean Baker could just try and Hydra bust him too. We don't know what he's gonna try and do. I think he probably already started Lurker though. Probably almost done.
Yeah. Lurkers are on the way. Oh, we see him cancel a couple ARPA by accident. Or, I don't know if it was by accident or we made the wrong unit. Okay, yeah, you just wanted to play with Lurkers.
We do see Foxbat put forward 2 bunkers, and he's going to put 1 turret down. I think, like, 1 more turret might be a good idea. I think that's what he's doing, another fort turret there, yeah.
I think he might be a little unfamiliar with playing against builds like this, though. It's really good that he has the Marines out on the map. But, you don't want the bunkers to be staggered like that. You want the bunkers to be lined up
in a
horizontally.
Row, right?
Yeah, where the so they can both be hitting the Lurkers as they're coming in. So here, once Baker gets into position, which is only a matter of time.
Oh yikes! That was some very good Lurker spines.
Yeah, for sure. And he's still
like
going
Foxbat
to
adding a 3rd bunker in the back.
But that just severs the problem even more so. The same problem. And Lurkers will be able to actually hit this bunker because it's... Oh wow, I'm surprised that was actually in range. I was just going to say that the missile turret could be much better as well. It being behind the bunker isn't ideal.
Right, yeah. The SimCity a little bit off by Foxbat, but he did react quickly to the scouting information that he got last minute, so Looks like he's holding it off so far. We'll see what Zerg decides to go into behind this. Looks like he's going to go through Defiler play, and he redroned his natural a little bit. And probably going to be getting a +1 carry pace with that as well. We do see Zerg floating quite a bit of money, quite a bit of gas during this process. I think that, like, this sometimes happens when you do, like, an all-in build and it gets scouted. Like, the transition can be really hard if you're not expecting to have to transition out of it.
Yeah, for sure. But it's never a good idea to just expect it not to be scouted and just win, because then that's truly a cheese, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, knowing that there's a transition is very good. I'm expecting that we're going to see him go into Defilers from here and do a Defiler press, because two base lurker into Defiler is a good build. And
Yeah,
it just
for
has
sure.
this really nice, like, lurker contain on the natural of Foxbat.
I think his Defilers will be a little late though.
Yeah. I mean, the science facility is almost done for Foxbat, it just finished now. So it is definitely going to be a little bit late on the Irradiate, but he does have siege mode out, so can push those lurkers back and probably manage to get out of break out of the contain. Definitely a slow process though. Sieging and unsieging lurkers can really slow down Terran a lot.
Yeah, it goes both ways for lurkers. What Terran wants to do when they play against lurkers is get a Marine medic army out on the map before the lurkers get to their choke, and just force them to keep burrowing over and over again, taking a little bit of damage each time. But the same thing applies to siege tank armies, really.
Yeah, definitely an interesting balance between the two.
It's just that Terran won't really take the free damage when they're resieging. Zerg just has to run away. They don't get any benefit.
Right. Definitely a lot of lurkers coming out of M. Baker though, but this contain is going to allow him to take a third base, which I don't know that he would be able to otherwise. And Foxbat kind of showing that he's a little bit of a passive player and not really kind of taking advantage of maybe the fact that he could have a huge attack coming in here from M. Baker. Oh man, just destroying the army of Foxbat in the move out.
Wow, that was amazing. That was just the perfect angle to get. I'm really surprised Foxbat did that, actually, because right before that happened, I was thinking, and Baker's Defilers are going to be so late. Foxbat already has tanks and a vessel out. You want the Defiler to be coming before those both get out.
Right, yeah. I mean, Irradiated is out now, but he just has so many lurkers, and I feel like with the SimCity that Foxbat is set up at his natural, it's going to be very difficult for him to actually get his units out. Like, we saw him trying to get past the wall, but then, like, once you're past the wall, everything's in range, so it's really hard to set up your siege tanks and, like, hit the lurkers before they can actually hit your army.
And Foxbat also wasted his Irradiates, so he's not going to be able to kill this Defiler. And Baker's just going to win here, I think.
Yeah, definitely the best possibility. Yeah, first Dark Swarm goes down, second Dark Swarm, and still no Irradiate on the Defiler. I think this is pretty over for our Terran player here. Who unfortunately scouted the 2-base lurker, but is going to die to the Defiler follow-up.
Yeah, I think by all accounts, Foxbat actually should have won this. He's just a little inexperienced at playing against aggressive lurker openings like this.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
Otherwise, it was really well played. Like, if he just fixes that one simple little hole, and maybe get some coaching about how to play against 2-hatch lurker builds.
Yeah,
really impressive performance by him.
Yeah, definitely very good. Very good play by Foxbat. I know that Father is on his team, so I'm sure that he can give him a hand with that. I'm sure Father knows how to defend 2-hatch lurker.
Yeah, Father always talks about how strong 2-hatch lurker builds are, so I'm sure he's put in some work in studying them.
Yeah, I think so as well. And I know that he is a fan of 2-base Defiler as well, so.
Okay, so the next map will be Eddie.
A big macro map. We are going to have N. Baker go up against our Tier 2 Protoss player, Hella Bacon. see if we can go ahead and get him in the
And
game. Coming
yeah,
up
I'm
early.
messaging him right now. He's actually offline on Discord. I'm hoping it's just a just like a manual setting or something. Or we might have to find a substitute.
I mean, I always have my Discord account set to offline as well. I'm not sure if Hello Bacon does that as well.
Yeah, some people do.
I just have to get water. I'll be right back.
Okay. I have no idea. I can, yeah, do that. Or no, I'll mute my yeah, I guess mute your gameplay then.
You should be able to just not join the screen share.
No, I'll not be in the screen share.
Truly know all the ins and outs of Discord.
So it looks like Hell Bacon is unfortunately offline, but I was able to find a replacement.
Oh, okay. Who are we gonna have?
Randir from Samyang.
Damn, all these Samyang players.
Yeah, I know. I had to actually just reach out to my own team for this one.
Oh, we had Avon Hockey or Specialist can play if Hello Bacon isn't available, but you already have a substitution, so that's okay.
Yeah, so Randir is just going to be a moment. He said he's going to the restaurant.
All right, sounds good.
But yeah, Randir, another. He's not too recent. He was added about a month ago, I think now. But really great addition to our team. He seems really promising for a tier 2 player, and he's been super active playing with us like every night, basically.
That's really good. All right, we're gonna go ahead and jump into this PvZ on Eddie.
And so, how do you feel about ZVP on Eddie in general?
Well, just first of all, we do have our Protoss player, Randir, playing under the ID Store Meg in the top left, or bottom left, and our Zerg player, N Baker. Tier 1 Zerg player, N Baker, in the blue in the top left. How do I feel about ZVP on Eddie?
Yeah.
I like it. I like it. I like this map. It's big.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's good to play a macro game on as Zerg, because you can get a lot of bases, and I feel like it's even almost okay as split map as well, because you can get you can take the island base and you can lurker drop the third, the two the side bases, like the one above or below each corner. There's a nice spot that you can lurker drop. Yeah, kind of above the gas in that base you were just looking at. Yeah. So I don't know. I feel like it's good. And the high ground about around the naturals for each main. You can definitely set lurkers up there, and there's lots of room on the map to flank. So I feel like 2-0 push can be held on this map. And there's also the rush distance for it, so you have a little bit of extra time to get your lurkers out.
Mm-hmm. So totally standard game from both players. Overpool from M Baker and a Forge from Randir.
How do you feel about ZVP on Eddie?
I agree with you. Eddie is actually one of my favorite maps in CPL. The third is really, really easy to defend. Like you said, the rush distances are a little on the longer side on this map, so it's really easy to just get to that comfortable mid-game position where you have all the hatcheries you want, all the drones you want. Even the fourth is easy. Even if you want to take another one of those side bases, that's totally fine for fourth. I just think it's really easy to defend everything. I like Eddie.
Yeah. Definitely big. Just the bigger the map is, it's often the more comfortable it is for Zerg. Unless you're a really aggressive player.
And
oh wow,
it has.
I gotta get the probe right away.
Yeah, it's always so nice to get the probe instantly with 2 lings. It rarely happens, but if you can catch the probe by surprise, it's really good. Another added little benefit I've noticed, it seems like a lot of Protoss don't really have great walls on Eddie, so if you want to just go the cheesy route and just Hydra bust them to death, that's usually a pretty viable option as well.
Yeah, I guess we'll see what N Baker goes for, but it does look like he's going to take another natural at his third, which is also a strong play on Eddie. Especially when you're in vertical positions. I feel like the horizontal, if you can take the other horizontal natural to your base, that just seems like a really strong position.
Yeah, for sure. And I actually love this about in Baker's play. I wish I could pull off this style as effectively as he does. Because if you feel comfortable doing this, it's really hard for the Protoss to break you. The hardest part is that there are multiple different avenues that the Protoss can go towards for breaking you when you do this. So it's really hard to scout 100% what the Protoss is going to do and react accordingly. But if you manage to get 4 bases up and running and just go straight into Hive with really good upgrades and fast cracklings and defiler, and oh, it's so strong.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there. Looks like we are going to see a lair on the way from Ed Baker, so probably going to be a Spire variant of this build. But probably going to see him throw down some songs and get that 6th hatchery as a force base before we see him take the Hydra down in the Evo chamber. So.
I'm surprised to see Randir actually having these idle probes, but also still not seeing any upgrades from him.
Right, yeah, no upgrade on the Forge yet. I mean, definitely, like, I think you can get that up to, like, 515 if you're going for a Zealot push. If we see him skip it altogether, I believe, then you can just go straight into DT if you don't bother getting that +1. I don't know how strong a Zealot push is against this, like, turtle style anyways. So, I wouldn't be surprised if we see him just skip it and tech really fast.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, you play PvZ. I don't play PvZ, so
Oh,
I can like ambiguously interpret what Protoss is doing, but I don't actually.
No. Like I said, I don't play Protoss with like really set build orders. I just wing it. And when I PvZ, usually I just go Sairless builds anyway, just because they're really abusive and they're hard for Zergs to stop if they don't know the proper meter response.
Right, it does get 1 drone kill for that Zealot. And it does manage to scout the 3rd location as well. And it looks like he's going to go ahead and throw down that Templar Archives and an extra gateway. And getting +1 now, so. I guess we'll see if Protoss decides to take an early 3rd in response to this, or do some kind of timing push and try and break Zerg. I think those are basically the responses that you can do as Protoss in this situation.
Yeah, so one of the most common responses is to just like get a big 2-base army with the big Dragoon force and try to break one of the fronts. Definitely an effective approach. But the other one is, like you said, just sit back, macro up. You can take a 3rd really quickly against this style, off of like 4 gateways or so. And then just macro up and go into like drop plays to harass the Zerg. You do have to find some way to deal damage to them. If you just let them drone up without any like, significant defense, you're probably going to be in trouble.
Yeah, forcing them to build the Sunkens and the Spores is definitely very good against this build. Like, if you don't force them to defend at all, Zerg just has, like... Zerg's just building drones. They just have, like, ultra economy. Completely out of control. We did see... I think he put his 6th hatchery down as 4th base a little bit late.
Yeah.
You're supposed to get it about 6:30.
Yeah, you're supposed to get it before you start sunkening up, actually.
Yeah. You get like 6 hatcheries and you get a sunk at each base. But he did, I think maybe he was scared of his Zealot move out, so he got those sunks a little bit earlier. And we are going to see that Randir comes out with a Zealot timing push at about 8 minutes. But I think that's going to be shut down completely by the sunks that Baker has at his base.
Yeah, for sure. It does look like he was aiming for a +1/+1 timing, but all of his upgrades were just late.
Alright, it does go ahead and force a 3rd sunk and some links to be made, so that's nice for Randir. And it looks like Baker is going to go... Well, he's built 1 Mutalisk, so we'll see if he's going to build more. Mutas behind us, as he saw that Randir isn't really committing too much to Corsairs. But he does manage to scout that with a Zealous, which is actually pretty good for Randir. He can go ahead and throw down cannons or with the introduction of Corsairs.
And I'm also surprised to see Randir opting to go for the +1 air weapons. He's even getting, I guess that must be Goon range. But yeah, he didn't end up building very many Corsairs, so I'm wondering about that.
Might have just been a misplay too, just like forgetting to macro them out, and definitely helping him now that there is now that there's mutas on the map for sure. And he does have an Archon out as well, so he should be able to defend against them. The mutas, no problem. Actually, the kind of hope with the mutas is that you can contain for a while. So. Tries to slip DTN, but isn't able to do so. Wow. And Baker going really heavily into mutalists. Definitely a couple shots by this Archon. Yeah, those mutas can't fight that Archon. I think if he keeps up into his +1 Corsairs too, he'll be able to fight that army.
Yeah, for sure. I'm wondering if Baker actually started aircraft base.
I feel like you always should with this build, or that's what I've heard anyways. With the Farthard?
Yeah, I don't know if you always do, but it's definitely a common thing. But I'm not as familiar with this build as I should be.
Yeah, I think the reason you get it is just because your Hydralisk are a little bit later.
Yeah, I always
wow,
thought it was...
just got destroyed.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Pretty
Sorry.
unfortunate. Like I said, I'm not an expert on the build, but I was under the impression it was so your Scourge could actually stay alive long enough just to thin out some of the Sares.
Yeah, I think it's that, and also just like you need the life on your Overlords.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, just because your Hydras are like significantly later than with a 5 hatch, because you get the 6 hatch before the Hydrogen.
But that depends on the Protoss going heavier on Sares, which is pretty common against the build, but it's not like a 100% thing, right? So.
Right.
So when Baker just transitioning into Hive Tech now, getting up 2 Evo chambers. He has all of his bases online with okay saturation.
Yeah, definitely droning up very hard here.
And this is
what Randir decides to do. It looks like he isn't doing either a push or a really fast third, so I'm a little bit worried about his options.
Yeah, the third is pretty slow. I think you might be able to chalk that up to him being a little unfamiliar with this kind of style, because it's not as popular as it used to be. I think before StarCraft Remastered came out, it was actually the most popular ZVP strategy for a while. But it very quickly kind of waned in popularity for most of third styles.
I find it really difficult to play, so...
Yes, so do I. I always just die in the mid game to Protoss push when I do it. Or die to Zealots early.
Yeah.
Another thing about the build is it's really hard to do against Gateway Fast Expand, so that's another big reason it isn't used as much nowadays.
Favorite, because Gateway Expand got really popular. Larva still does it though, all the time.
Yeah.
It's the Larva build. Kind of a small thing, but I like the way that Randir's actually set up that choke with 4 pylons. So I don't think you can get Hydras through there.
I think you might be able to get them through the middle. Yeah.
It at least forces them to single file though. So that like counterattack path, I feel like can be really strong if you can get units through there.
Yeah, and it's already so narrow anyway.
Yeah.
And Baker just playing super safe.
Yeah, he's gonna go ahead and tech up into hives, and he's got his lurkers set up. So we'll see if Randir can go ahead and break him with this push. Doesn't look like he has like any. Oh, he does have some storm coming behind. But definitely need Storm to deal with this, and I'm only seeing the one High Templar, so. Goons are good, but Lurkers, I don't know. I feel like Storm, you just really need Storm to break into these little tiny
Yeah,
caves.
100%. And even though he
really
made that
Templar.
that Archon, it still doesn't explain though. Like there should still be way more Templar.
Yeah. I feel like it's such a tricky balance too. Like Protoss players, I find that either have like way too many Templar or like not enough.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. That we see. Wow, he's just going straight in.
I think we just saw him suicided his Templar.
He suicided all of his zealots, just running straight in. That's really unfortunate.
All right, looks like he's just gonna try and break this. Oh man, the DT in the 4th base going to get so many drones.
And he actually ends up cleaning that up too. Finally kills the Spore, and there's just no support left over for the Lurkers. I can't believe that the Dragoons are going to get cleaned up.
I think he might still. Don't get ahead of yourself. I think he's still going to clean this up. Well, actually, he did rally his units in, so. Yeah, nice play by Randir. It's definitely like the Krakens are starting to come out. So I think that the best thing about this play for Randir is actually getting that DT in and getting all of those drones.
Yeah, for sure. But I was honestly, I'm taken aback by the fact that Randir finally broke the Lurkers. I was expecting him just to get completely cleaned up.
Yeah, definitely surprising. Does manage to pick off the rest of that army and get the observer. So.
And wow, even on carapace with the Protoss weapons, so Randir is in big trouble right now. And he's still streaming units. I think he rallied gateways actually to this fight, which
they both are. I'm going to go ahead and send the rest of those units back. We're gonna have to see M Baker just re-drone a little bit behind this, but if you do look, like Protoss had a very good supply lead, and now he's like a lot closer. Well, actually, he's behind on supply now from M Baker. So I think that like failing to break that position is actually just going to cost him the game.
Yeah, for a while it looked like Randir was just going to win, but it was right at that turning point, and then he just got cleaned up. So I think there's no way he comes back. He has a worse economy. He has worse army composition. He's worse on upgrades.
Yeah, BBC is going to go ahead and try and take bottom right. And the island expansion.
He's kind of just aimless now. It looks like he wants to keep up the aggression, but he just doesn't have any place to do it.
Yeah, I think he's... Oh, he isn't actually taking bottom right. I'm stupid. It's fine. He is taking the island base, though. So he will get an extra expansion out of this. But I think the main and the Nat are like pretty close to mined out here, as we are almost 18 minutes into the game. I think they might be mined out completely. I can't really see on the mini map.
The main is mined out completely. The natural is almost mined out.
Yeah. All right, it's gonna take that natural from bottom right as well. I like seeing that from Protoss. I'd really like to see Zerg push out and take a 5th base right now, because he definitely can. He's got the army advantage. He can just as I say that, he brings a drone out to take a 5th base, so that's good. Yeah, Zerg being up on supply in this matchup in general is just very difficult for Protoss.
Looks like he's going to take a 6th as well here. I mean, he's setting up for it at least. And with lurkers, those will be impossible to break.
Yeah.
But yeah, anytime Zerg is even within like 10 supply or so of Protoss. It's really bad for the Protoss for sure. The supply differential before that big attack, where Randy almost broke him, it was like 120 supply to 200 supply.
Yeah, I think it was like 110 to 150, but yeah.
No, Randy was definitely maxed when the attack
really?
actually happened.
I didn't notice that. I thought he was sitting at like 150.
And wow, Randy's +3 weapons hasn't even started yet. That's pretty dire.
Right, he's just sitting on 2-1 right now. Looks like Baker gonna go ahead and try and come in here. He's just like, he's low on Storm again. Oh man, the Lurkers didn't quite hit the Pro Clump, but they're definitely going to shred these Zealots. Yeah, Reindeer just doesn't have enough Storm to deal with this. And we've got Defilers on the map now for third.
He was able to clean that up. I was expecting Baker's Wings to just keep pouring in, but I guess his macro is waning a little bit.
Yeah, it's also very difficult to move all of those units across the map.
Yeah. One thing that trips players up a lot is like also having the rally points right over lurkers, which makes it hard sometimes to just like drag select, because then you get a lurker stuck in the group and you can't really attack move.
Alright, nice Dark Storm here. You see the Storm's coming down to try and kill the Crackling. But of course the cannons can't touch them under Dark Storm. Gonna go ahead and bring some Zealots to clean that up. Looks like Randy are actually bringing back a lot of his army. I feel like that's actually a mistake that Baker could have exploited. Like, as he sees him bringing back all of those units, if he had just moved everything to bottom right, I think he could have taken it out and closed out the game.
Yeah, for sure. That's exactly what you want to do in Zerg. You want to be pulling them in different directions and then just like flooding in units wherever their weak point is. But and Baker is pretty low APM. See, he's just sitting at around 100, which is, I mean, it's really impressive for a tier 1 to be at that level with APM like that, but really hard for the multitasking.
Looks like he's doing that now, though. He recognizes that the army is in top left, so he is going to go ahead and send his units to bottom right. Very good decision, because if Protoss can't hold bottom right, Protoss is like even more out of this game than he is already.
But yeah, just a delayed. It's finally going in now. Finally. Also at 3-2 upgrades, so even if Randier did get that base and was able to keep it, there's no way he's coming back from this.
Yeah, definitely in a very difficult position, and he is going to go ahead and GG out. And we do have Baker going to stay on as he takes out our tier 2 Protoss player here.
That whole mid-game attack was actually shocking to me. I was kind of at a loss for words.
The fact that he almost broke him?
Yeah. Because he approached the fight really poorly at the beginning. He did exactly the opposite of what you want to do, which is ideally have a bunch of Templar and just slowly, methodically storm each one and then snipe it with a Dragoon shot and keep doing that to thin out the lurker numbers and forces her to spend more gas on lurkers. But instead he did option B, where he just ran all of his zealots into lurkers and they all died. And somehow he's still almost broken.
Yeah, if he had Storm, I think he definitely would have broken that position. Like, he only had 1 Templar. If he had like 4 Templars, I think that Baker was super dead. Looks like our next map here is going to be Overwatch. And I think we're going to see Baker go up against our tier 1 Terran player next, which is going to be IRK Royal Blue, as far as I know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I know Royal Blue pretty well. Because he's on my CPL team, and he was on MCMS last season, and he's also on IRK on the B team. So I played with him quite a bit. He's definitely very strong PvC.
Right. Yeah, I believe I actually played him in the finals last season, which unfortunately I had already known at that point that our team had lost, but I was able to at least win that game. So I made it only a 1-game victory rather than a 2-game victory. So
Right.
but
Yeah, Royal, by the way, is probably going to go mech, and especially because it's on Overwatch. Like, I think I've seen him play SK Terran like maybe 3 times in my life, and they were all against me because I specifically requested it. So his mech is definitely what he prefers, and it's very strong.
yeah, I think it was a close game that we played where he went mech. And Mech is also, I think, really strong on Overwatch, so it should be interesting to see. I'm not exactly sure how Baker plays against Mech, to be honest.
Alright, we are going to have Baker, our Red Zerg player, in the top left. And IRK Royal Blue, our Blue Terran, in the bottom right. Blue to match the map. I like blue maps. They're good.
So why do you like Overwatch ZVT exactly?
I like it because, okay, number 1, the rush distance is long. Number 2, you have a third base that you can take in bottom left or top right that has a small surface area. And it's actually really far away from Terran, just as far away as your natural is. So if you have like defense for the ramp, it also kind of doubles as drop defense because the surface area of the base is so small. And then the center base, like bottom center or top center, you can take as a fourth. And it has a path to both your third location and your natural. Plus, I find that the terrain in the middle of the map has like it's a long rush distance, and it's lots of high ground, low ground, high ground, low ground. So you can really force Terran to slow down a lot as they're walking across the map, especially if you have like mutiling with all the high ground and even the ridges to stop vision. So I feel like it's a long distance, and it's a scary map for Terran. And that way you can get your like third base and fourth base kind of up. And yeah, Zerg just can move a lot quicker than Terran on this map. I feel like it's nice.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of why I like it. I feel like it's pretty comfortable ZVT.
Fair points. Yeah. Have you ever done third hatch third builds on it?
Yeah, a lot.
So you take the corner bases with those?
Yep.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, that's something I was thinking about, but I haven't actually tried it yet.
Yeah, I have like, I guess if I say this on cast, maybe I can't use it anymore. I have like 100% win rate with that in CPL on this map.
Just assume your opponents won't have watched it. Don't worry.
Hmm?
Just assume that your opponents won't have watched this.
Yeah.
No one
I
actually.
think other builds are really good on this map as well. So, like, I think 3-hatch Muta is also just great on this map, to be honest. But the third hatch third is also good. And if you do that against mech, I think it's almost better. Even because then you get your third hatch or your third gas so quickly that you can just go mass Muta.
Do you get the third hatch up in time to stop the vulture though?
I mean, think you can, yeah.
Wouldn't the vulture still be able to just like go in for free and you'll never get a suck out there?
I'm not sure. The rush distance is very long on the map. I guess I haven't actually checked that timing because usually they usually don't scout it until after you get it up, so. Man, is he gonna get an overlord?
That's so tragic. Oh, I can't believe Baker didn't have it running. There was almost a little window where he could have saved it.
Yeah, for sure, because he stopped. But that Overlord loss this early in the game is actually like really, really difficult for Zerg.
Yeah, it's at least a little later. If you lose the first Overlord, I consider it like basically catastrophic. But whenever I do that, if I lose an Overlord just being inattentive to like a cannon or something, I just lose. But I think it's really, really hard to come back from that.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
in Baker's, I think he'll be close, but the Sunken should be on time. I didn't actually see. I assume he got it down around 3:30, which is yeah, okay, perfect timing.
Yeah, Royal actually isn't super aggressive with his Vulture in general anyways. Like, if the Sunken's like a little bit like close to being done, he usually won't run in. He just really focuses on keeping his Vulture alive.
Which I think is the proper way to do it.
Yeah.
And going up to 3 Vultures, I really like that. Terrans who go mech and they only make 1 Vulture, I think that's a huge waste of an opportunity because having these 3 Vultures out on the map makes it so hard for Zerg. Because ideally, well, I'm saying this in terms of.
Oh man, gonna go ahead and lose both Vultures at the natural. He does have one more. But there is speedlings out, so he will have to micro it very well to keep it alive here.
Yeah, really nice pickoff by N. Baker. Royal Blue just not paying attention to his Vultures there. But like I was saying, if you're going to Muta, having to waste the time not harassing the Terran and killing those Vultures so you get your third up is a big problem. But Baker's actually just, I think, going for a Ling Hydra in here.
Yeah, it's definitely what it looks like to me. There is a wall up by Terran, and we might see Royal Blue throw down a bunker as well, I think, to defend this. I'm not sure if it's going to be... He did get Lair, so I think it might actually be a 2-edge lurker.
Yeah, that was my mistake. I missed the Lair.
But he will need detection, so I hope he's throwing down an Engineering Bayer so he can get some turrets up.
And so this is actually, it could turn out almost exactly like my game against Father in our Apocalypse show match, but hopefully Royal Blue, I think his missile turret placement and his bunker placement is really good. I think Father didn't really have the proper response.
He didn't scout it as well.
Oh, yeah, okay. And so
Royal just scouted it, so.
Yeah, normally it's really bad for a Zerg in this position. Terran just holds on. Lurkers are really bad against mech. So unless he's able to break the wall and do a bit of damage, he's going to be way behind.
Right, and he does have turrets up, so he will be able to fight the lurkers. Even if they take down the wall.
Yeah, and it's just taking so much damage and not really getting anything accomplished here. I think Ken Baker is pretty much finished in this game. His lurkers being in range of that bunker was a huge issue, and I don't know why he actually repositioned a couple of them to also be in range of the bunker. If he had just sat back and sniped the depots before deciding on like another timing with more lings and more lurkers, I think that might have been his best chance. But
can you go like take a third and go speed Hydra lurker?
You could, but I don't think it would be. Hydras are just so bad, even against Goliaths. They're not really that great. They're good against Goliaths in small numbers, but Terran is definitely just going to go tanks right away when they see lurkers anyway, so I don't think that's a viable option now.
So Ling Lurker is the way to transition out of it?
I think Ling Lurker all-in is your only option. But I'm not an expert on it, to be honest. I just think you're at such a disadvantage. You just have to... You have to hit some sort of timing where you just kill them before they get a significant mass of mech.
Yeah, for sure. It definitely feels like like versus bio, there's kind of a transition, but it definitely feels difficult. Like it just feels like you have all the wrong tech against mech.
Yeah,
like
because
none of the right tech, just everything wrong.
Lings are also awful against Goliaths.
Yeah, exactly.
But I guess he's just going to try to get up a third. He's getting more hatcheries. He actually has okay drone saturation. And he's going to try to transition to Muta. I guess this is the best bet, just hoping that Royal Blue stays passive enough that he's able to get his economy going. But even then, his Muta upgrades are going to be so late.
Yeah, you definitely need that +1 carapace on your mutas to fight against the +1 on the Goliaths. Otherwise, you just kind of melt a lot faster. So you definitely want the mutas to be able to tank a lot of hits from the Goliaths.
And yeah, the +1 armor is already finished with the Goliaths. His +1 weapons are on the way. And then once these are cleared out, I mean, there's no way Baker is going to survive this attack.
Yeah, it definitely seems like a very difficult position for Zerg to be in, and he's like definitely significantly down on supply as well.
And it
He is
looks
kind
like
of trying to transition to Hydras, but he has so much gas. I feel like he could have just gone Muta.
Yeah, I 100% thought he was going to do a Muta switch, but I guess he feels like he doesn't have the time now that he sees that Terran is moving out.
Right, it looks like he might try a counterattack, which I feel like could be really strong. I'm not sure what Royal has set up in his base to deal with a counter. Or he might try and flank the Terran push. Both options. Okay, I feel like the counterattack is the better option for Zerg, just because you might be able to get Terran to turn around.
Yeah, yeah. There's no way he's gonna beat that army, so this is his only choice. And he could. Oh, he could also just like try to lay down a bunch of Sunkens to delay the Terran, although he doesn't really have the economy for that. And now he's just coming back and he's going to try to fight it.
Yeah, looks like he's going to try and flank here.
Yep.
The scan goes down in timely manner from Royal.
And that was so one-sided.
Oh yeah, completely. The Zerg army just melted.
Because the Hydras also don't have any upgrades. It's just a tough position.
Yeah, definitely very, very difficult opener there from Baker.
I wish Baker had handled his initial lurkers better, but I mean, Royal Blue also did a great job. His building placement, SimCity, and everything was pretty much perfect.
Alright, looks like we are going to have some Hydras come out here and try and fight the Goliath. The tanks in the background seem bent, so they're going to get some damage down, but as the tanks manage to siege and a couple extra units come in from Royal, he's going to go ahead and completely melt that Zerg army. And Baker's going to go ahead and tap out.
Yeah, valiant effort by Baker, but just a really, really hard game to come back.
Right, and so with that, we have our Zerg team officially out of the running, and we're gonna have our Tier 1 Protoss Crane, or Craney, as
is that how it's pronounced?
No, it's not.
Oh, okay.
I'm obligated to change the names of everyone. So we're gonna have them play the final match on Sylphid to see if Terran or Protoss truly is stronger. I think Crane might be favored in this match. He's actually like I think up for promotion to Tier 0. Royal is very strong though, so well I guess we'll see what happens. Neo Sylphid's such a good map to end it on.
Oh yeah, I love this map. Sorry.
Just watch the stream.
I feel so bad banning players, but Okay, yeah, no, I definitely think Crane. Actually, I don't really know that much about his PvT specifically, but I think he is a really strong player. I played him in one of the previous seasons. I think season 3, the first season that I played, and he felt really strong to me. So, and it's PvT, so I'm just assuming he's the favorite here.
All right, so you have Royal on the left-hand side of the map, and Crane or Craney on the right-hand side, bottom corner of Sulfid. Should I just call him Craney? I feel like I should, because he always tells me that's not the way that you're supposed to pronounce his name. So
Definitely, just call him that.
Craney. All right, sounds good. All right, so he actually, like, as far as his PvT goes, he did just beat Fox in a
Oh,
match.
yeah, that's right. And I think he was the
Fox
one.
has gone undefeated so
Yeah,
far, I think.
I was so sad about that because Fox's win streak was sick, and he kept having really close series too.
Yeah. I definitely think, like, Fox probably should be made tier 0 pretty quick here as well.
I don't know. I think let's just keep the tiers settled for playoffs, please. Our team doesn't need any more 2-0s.
Your team needs everyone to move up a tier because you seem to not be able to lose matches.
I feel like that's been happening to us anyway. We've had so many players moved up in tiers.
I think it's good.
Oh,
actually,
yeah.
people are talking about promoting people on our team, but we've actually only won like 1 week, so I feel like keeping people in their respective tiers as much as possible is probably fine for us.
But yeah, definitely, if someone actually is really too good for their tier, I don't want them to be. Like, I don't want to have some sort of like secret weapon that's just unfair. I actually initiated a lot of our promotions.
Yeah, for sure. Alright, now here's a TVP that's gonna have real builds, and we're still not gonna know what to call them.
Yeah, well, at least now I know that it's 28 Nexus, not 29 Nexus.
Yeah, that's definitely an improvement.
Pretty embarrassing considering I watch Pupil like all the time, but I still don't know any details about PvT.
That's okay. Like I said, usually when I cast, I just rely on Least to say stuff, and I hope that it's right, and it's probably not because of Least, but you know. At least I'm not talking.
So,
Okay.
probably just a standard factory expand here for Royal Blue.
Yeah, I don't think we'll see anything super strange from him. He's probably just gonna play his match.
Although he's keeping the SUVs on gas.
Oh, true. I guess he might try and 2-fact. I wonder if he'll do it with a. Yeah, it looks like that's what it's gonna be. With that second SUV out.
Interesting. Do you know if he does this often?
Nope. But there's a probe that's gonna come in and scout that there's no expansion yet. I'm not sure what the timing is that you check as Protoss, though.
Honestly, I'm not either, but I would be pretty suspicious, I guess, if I saw a wall. Which, did the Protoss actually scout the wall? Because, like,
forward with a.
in base, okay, he's definitely going to see the wall now. And he's going to see that there's no CC. Like, in base command centers are really rare, I think, nowadays. So he should at least be having some, like, weird feelings in the pit of his stomach about what the Terran is actually doing.
Yeah, it looks like Crane is going, or Craney is going 28 Nexus. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, this is the build that's actually better against 2-fact than 21 Nex. I don't know if I'm wrong about that, but I should listen to
okay, I thought it was
players.
I thought it was the other way around, but I'm probably wrong. Okay.
Yeah, I think that you, because you get the I don't know, because you get the Nexus later, like, I think you're supposed to throw it on an extra gateway. But I don't know.
Yeah,
I believe that, I'm pretty sure that I've heard that 28 Nexus is better than 21 Nexus. All right, we do have Snipe in the chat saying that maybe 21 Nex is better, and I'm wrong. So we're back on the Nexus timing thing, guys.
That's the only thing that matters. Not the
Oh
gameplay,
yeah, obviously.
just the
Just the
supply that
Nexus
Nexus
timing.
is built.
Oh man, if he manages to pick off that first tank, that is so good for Craney.
Yeah, is
That
this just
like
dead in the water now?
destroys his push potential.
He
Does
lost.
he even have any vultures? Like,
He lost all of his Marines and he lost a tank. So I feel like, I mean, Crane's Dragoons are really heavily damaged.
but he has no vultures. Like, he has no vultures to set mines. I'm just kind of confused about his push. Okay, here comes the vultures now.
I'm guessing, I don't know, now it seems like it's still a little scary for Protoss because all his Dragoons are so damaged, except for one.
Right,
But he also has 3
gonna
gateways up now.
probes. Yeah, yeah. I guess it depends on how well, like, what the rallies are behind this. And how the micro goes. Alright, looks like we are setting some mines from Royal.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow. Thick mines! Wow, I feel like Crane actually really messed that up.
Yeah, that was the worst possible. I was not expecting that at all. I was thinking he was being a little slow with the Dragoons, but it looked like he actually sniped a mine, and then I was thinking it might turn out alright, but then that happened. And we see him typing in chat a little bit afterwards, a little flustered.
Looks like Royal is building an engineering bay in Crane's Natural. I'm gonna go ahead and set up probably some turrets and kind of like running vultures around inside the main and setting mines inside the gateway so that when units pop out.
Yeah, that's such a good touch. It's gonna be really hard for Crane to do anything now.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's pretty dead at this point.
Yeah, I don't think there's any coming back from this.
I mean, he does have an observer out, so we can shoot the mines at least. But I guess we'll see how this goes from here for Royal. Looks like he's planning on taking an expansion and just kind of camping the natural of Protoss.
And still able to get more vultures into the main. That's such a huge thing. It's really pulling Crane's attention away from trying to finally break this this setup in his natural. And then that
for sure.
That turret is just, oh god, this is.
Oh, manages to kill the observer. Definitely unfortunate. Gonna take out the egg to give a little bit more surface area, but it doesn't really change the fact that that choke is very difficult.
Yeah, and he just has to wait for another observer now. I think they're relatively even on worker counts. Crane might even still have an advantage, even with the workers that he lost from the vultures. So maybe if he's really patient and he really slowly clears out these mines before finally breaking the tanks, he can actually transition back into a regular macro game. But I think he's also dealing with a little bit of the mental stress of this right now, too, so it's kind of hard to keep your composure in a situation like this.
Going down ahead and putting down that command center, and he didn't rally a ton of tanks and try and kill him, so Royal also handling this very patiently, just knowing that he has an advantage because he broke the natural, and just kind of camping out and keeping Protoss on one base while he takes his nat.
Oh god, one thing I just realized, Crane only has 2 probes on his gas.
Oh wow, that's actually really difficult.
Yeah, one of the vultures must have killed one of them and he just never realized it. It's not the end of the world, because it's just main gateway units right now, but... So, see how he uses the shuttle here.
Nice turret placements, or turret placement from Royal Blue, so we can't like completely zealot bomb the tanks. So that's definitely a nice play by him, getting that engineering.
Yeah, for sure.
Up.
Yeah, that first turret was like perfectly placed. it's really hard for observers to get in position. He needs like 2 observers to cover both the upper mines and the lower mines.
Right. We do see that Crania actually used that shuttle to go ahead and take a hidden base in a classic Protoss fashion, as we've seen today. So I guess we'll see if Royal does eventually scout that and kind of what the plan is from here.
But yeah, that's
Crane's
actually...
still up in supply.
Okay, Crane's trying to break out here. Let's see how it goes. Really nice Zealot drop before the shuttle finally dies, but his goons are just not able to accomplish anything
those
here.
mines. Yeah. Alright, GG is called by Crane.
I'm actually surprised he decided to do that, given his secret base.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I guess maybe he could have spent some time like using his shuttle to ferry his units outside and trying to get a some kind of arc.
Yeah, that would definitely be the other alternative play there.
Yeah. I'm not sure what the true answer is to that though. It seems like a very difficult position for Protoss.
Yeah.
I guess you have Terran won the overall event.
Yeah. So, as you said, Terran has the best win rate in CPL. Tasagi.
They went ahead and proved that today.
Yeah. We proved that the map list is just wildly unfair for Zerg.
Yeah.
First race we get knocked out. I mean, come on, Snipe.
Yeah. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed this event. I think Keen is hoping to host another one of these tournaments soon. I think it was a lot of fun. I feel like it's a good chance to play best of ones on CPL maps. And we will be taking volunteers again for that event. So if you're interested in playing something like this and getting some games live casted, it's definitely a great opportunity. And just keep your eyes out for some events that are coming up this week. Of course, you can always check the Google Calendar. That will tell you exactly what's going on with CPL because I update it myself. But we do have another Apocalypse Show match, a ZVT coming to you guys on Monday, which will be Shroom from Operation Indecision up against Silver from Team Socialized Healthcare. So that's going to be at 2 p.m. EDT on Lee's stream. And then we have another Apocalypse Show match on Thursday, which is May 7th. And it's going to be a lot earlier in the morning morning for PDT. It'll be at 1 p.m. EDT on Lee stream as well. And that's going to be a TVZ between Mars and IRK Sheep. So that's Samyang Fire against Operation Indecision. And make sure to tune into the match of the week later on Thursday, which is going to be at 6 p.m. EDT. So after you're done watching the Apocalypse stream, you can go straight to CPL's Twitch for that match, which will probably be casted by Sat0 and co-caster, hopefully Nablime, because I know he's a fan favorite. And then I think we have a Crack Masterclass coming up, but looks like it might not end up being on Wednesday, guys. So we might have to postpone that, and I'll get the new date to you guys ASAP.
Okay, thank you for watching, everyone.